What is going on, entertainment? So time comes out with another video. So we doing Scotty with the body episode 3. Okay, let me pop our. Okay, he really has did his big one with this show. Okay, y'all know how the baddies do their big one. The Pepper has did his big one. Okay, do your big one. But no, for real, like the show in itself is a lot better than I thought it was gonna be. I've been telling y'all this, okay? Y'all know I'm keeping it, but like, meaning I didn't think they were going to talk in detail with certain things that they did. Okay, so the episode starts off with Scotty's like near this like pool type tub situation, and Lemmy sits next to her, and they start having a conversation. She mentions that she's gonna have to stay while he has to travel for work, and she's like, "Oh, well, you're leaving me, or whatever, and you're doing, whatever you want and stuff." So Lemmy, of course, is just like, why do you do that? Why do you do that? Like you always like do that. You always think it's like another girl. You're always thinking it's another woman. Like, why do you do that? And I'm like, Lemmy has to understand this. Like the stuff that we see on the blogs and the stuff that we see all over the internet. Do you not understand? Scotty sees those too. As much as she wants to ignore it, act like she doesn't see it or doesn't speak about it on the internet, I'm 9 times 100% sure, low key, knows that she sees it. She sees that the blogs post you being around a certain woman, you commenting under certain women's posts. That's gonna make her feel away. And then on the other hand, Scotty, you knew what you were getting yourself into by getting with this man. So I don't feel sympathy for like neither, if we're gonna be honest. I really don't. Okay. And then they start to get into their relationship dynamic, and if this was like a traditional type of relationship. And at one point he's just like, like the type of person that I am, I'm not like a really like traditional man, like just in general, like whether it come to like religion, whether it come in like relationships, I'm no biblical lyricist. And I'm like, what the hell is that? That must be Krishan. Yahweh! You know what I'm saying? Biblical lyricist. That's a new one. You know what I'm saying? But he was basically, I guess, saying he doesn't follow like the regular ways of like religion. Well, Scotty said, well, my baby gonna believe in God. I said, I know that's right. I know that's right. I don't be with you a lot, Scotty, but I'm with you when you said that. I said, okay. And he agreed and everything too and went along with it. But you could tell she still feels a way about him, in my opinion, always telling her, like, hey, we're not in a traditional type of relationship. In my opinion on that, it's just like, I feel like you constantly saying that and her not getting it. Y'all did not agree to the terms and conditions of the relationship before getting into it. Because you wouldn't have to repeat it so much, Lemmy Pepper, if she understood that from the jump. And it's like, I don't know if it's the hormones that's making her forget what she agreed to by being with you, but she's not getting the point that this isn't a traditional type of love, okay? It's giving Lil Wayne, had a lot, you had a lot of money, try to hear your heart, never figured out, and you never had a heart, had a lot, yeah. Okay, it's giving how to love. So let me start taking them to like a safari and to go see like the elephants and the animals and stuff. That dog Scotty had is so cute. Y'all know I love my pup. It looks so cute with the black and then the all white with the little black imprints on it. That was a cute ass dog. And they kind of going back and forth or whatever. Y'all know how they do with the back and forth with disagreements on like little stupid stuff. Like she made a joke about the elephant kind of kicking him off or whatever, and he's just like really, you know, like make a joke about that. So like it'd be cool if like the elephant kicked me to the next city. Like really, Scotty? Like they doing that little tangent back and forth. And to me, Loki, they were being rude to the instructor. Cause it's like, what if she told y'all to not do something to an animal and then y'all do it and y'all end up in the hospital again? Like y'all, that was like real rude. They're talking when the instructor talking, not really caring and joking. It's a little bit low key what she was saying. I get they were trying to be funny, but it's like she telling y'all stuff out of safety because y'all can't afford to get another injury because y'all have a group member that's in the hospital like right now. So after the safari on their way back, Ari starts getting into it with Dreamer because Dreamer was dreaming on the photographer lap. Now, I don't be too here for some of the stuff Lemmy does, But he had every right to check him like that, because if somebody's paying you to do a job, why do you think it's comfortable and it's okay enough, just because maybe it's the Zeus network and it's a lot of stuff that be going on, that you could, have a girl sit on your lap and it just be okay? You feel me? Like, and he not gonna say nothing, especially if he paying you out of his own pocket. Cause let me probably thinking like, hey, if you let her sit on your lap, who knows if one day Scotland feel a little hoppy like a bunny and decides to sit on your lap. So I could see why he would feel away about it, to be honest. So I'm glad he did check him like he did. Like, that photographer deserved every right to be checked the way that he did. Now, Ari starts calling out Dreamer for being a 304. There was a name in the video, in the episode, that kept getting bleeped out. No shade. I feel like it's Lemmy Pepper brother, allegedly. That's what I think. And I feel like he didn't want nothing to do with it. And that's why they kept bleeping the name out. Because if it was any other random nigga, we wouldn't even know who it is. We would have to look up that person and it wouldn't even be 100% confirmed. But if they say those words, those two initials, we're going to know exactly who they're talking about. So that's why I think it was the Pepper's brother. That's just my assumption. Of course, I'm probably wrong. Who knows? And who really gives a crap? Ari, though, to me, do I think she was doing the most? Yes. But I also feel like Scotty, she low-key kind of watching out for you, because if you bring your homegirl around and she's screwing the crew and she's screwing the people around, God forbid what she may do behind your back. And we all know the Pepper himself just said it, he doesn't like things traditional. So let's say he's having an untraditional day, she may want some traditional day. You know what I'm saying? Like, you never know. So you got to be real careful. And her name is Dreamer. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, can you really trust her? I'm just saying. So Ari and Dreamer start going at it. Ari starts clocking Dreamer T, saying she can't afford to live in Houston, which I said, not gonna lie, that made me laugh a little bit. Because it's like, we all know Houston is one of the most inexpensive cities compared to others. So that was like a deep read. Like, you got to really think about that to know about it. So she starts saying that. Apparently Dreamer was like, oh, you don't take care of your son. They go back and forth. Scotty starts getting mad. She's telling Ari, she's like, no, stop going in on her like that. You got to stop. And then at one point, Scotty gets mad at Lemmy. Once again, I was on Lemmy's side. How are you going to tell him he's getting into BITCH business and he's paying a photographer to do a job and he's having a woman sit on his lap? This isn't a free vacation. You get what I'm saying? So it's just like, how is he getting into BITCH business? I didn't like that. Like, I feel like she was running that situation. Okay, I feel like she was running that situation. Like, to say that to him is crazy. Like, because it involved one of his employees. And I feel like he was only checking to see what was going on. Is Lemmy messy? Hell yeah, we all know this. He's the honorary baddie. We all have said this, right? But in this situation, I don't feel like he was doing anything like outrageously wrong. I don't think he was wrong, like, really at all. And then also, too, Ari was the one that was overly emotional and getting mad. Why do you care what she doing with her punani? Besides warning Scotty that she need to watch her. Besides that point, it seemed like she cared a lot more, as if she slept with one of her or something. Like, she was taking it really deep to the point where she said, yeah, you had asked Scotty for $400. Now we got another price range for an amount of money that was asked for or missing. First, we had Savannah's $500, and now we got Dreamer's $400. Okay, so she like, oh, you had to ask Scotty for $400. You're above. You're above. And all I'm thinking is, I know all of y'all as Scotty's friends have asked her for money. And that's why that Aaliyah was in the back very quiet. Y'all see her in the back? Sis was the rocking the boat. I'll tell you that much. She didn't say a peep. Because she know, I feel like had she said, yeah, she had to ask her for it, Scotty would have clocked there and be like, you've asked me for money too. I just gave you $1,000 last week. Like, she knew not to really say nothing. That's the quietest we done see her that whole season. Child, why somebody in the Zeus comment said that Ari looked like a Mucinex monster? Y'all are not right, okay? So at one point, Scotty started getting angry, and she's just like, oh my God, Lemmy, you're always taking everybody else's side but mine. And she got in his face and did one of these. Okay, she like, but mine. Okay, and let me just come on, like, why are you putting your hands in my face? Like, really? You're putting your hands in my face? And she's like, yeah, because I'm tired of it. I hate you, or something to that effect. So Lemmy's just like, okay, like, Aaliyah, stop it, stop it, stop it. Mind you, Aaliyah wasn't even talking, really doing much. And she's like, no, no, all you guys, stop it. You know what? Better yet, we're not going. Everybody get off the van. Better yet, get off my Sprinter. And then Scotty's just like, really? We're doing the my Sprinter? Okay, bet. I'm gonna call an Uber agent. She really get the. And then he's like, yeah, that's the best thing you can do, Scotty. Hop on Scotland. And basically told her to get the hell up out of there. She started digging in the car, whatever, and it starts getting on her phone. I just feel like that situation escalated really mostly because of Ari. The amount of anger she was getting and the amount of emotion she was having, I just feel like her and Dreamer have a deeper issue than what's not being said, to be honest, because it just cannot be over Dreamer spreading the punan all throughout the crew. It just cannot be that. It got to be a little bit deeper. It's given she's probably jealous that Scotty is closer to Dreamer than to her. That's how I see it. So Bobby goes and checks on Dreamer in the next room or whatever, and she's in the bathroom crying. She starts to talk about why does Ari care about all the stuff that I'm doing with my private parts, and she reveals a traumatic thing that she's been through. She was saying how she went through a lot with this dude, and the dude unalived her dad in front of her, so that kind of made her go into like a spiral of kind of like doing what she want, okay? Which that's a lot of people's story. When they've been through something like abusive like that, they usually do one or two things. They usually like rarely date and deal with niggas like that ever again and gain a lot of trust issues, or they become extremely sexually hyper. So it's like one of the two. So she probably went with the hyper route. And she started crying and getting emotional about it. It kind of reminded me, because y'all know I watch ID channel all the time. It reminded me of this one ID channel story that they did, and it was this lady, and she had her husband. The husband killed both of her parents, okay, in front of her. It almost killed her. Like, man, when I tell you, and the amount of stories that we've been seeing lately when it comes to DV, it's so sad because, like I said earlier on this channel, I feel like the amount of deviant percentages is starting to rise as the days goes on. Every new day that we come to now, we see another Black woman murdered by another man, and it's getting ridiculous. And something has to be done about it. It's really sad. At one point, they go back. Bobby goes back with Dreamer, and Bobby was trying to get in the midst of it to try to talk for Dreamer, and Arg hit her with the "shut up." I'm not talking to you. If I was talking to you, you would have been in it. Back up. I'm tired of you. I said, finally. Okay. Because Bobby getting away with a whole lot. Finally, somebody had to yell at him. Okay. Now, I don't think it was right for her to try to pop up and fight him because he is a man. So he would be wrong if he hits you, Ari. You get what I'm saying? So that part I don't agree with. But that's what Bobby get, because he do be inserting himself in a whole lot of things that have nothing to do with him. I get he's trying to assist with this show and get the drama and the storyline up and running and all that, but it really was between the two of them, and they could have had a conversation. So you didn't have to butt into it. Plus, mind you, there's plenty of security around. So if somebody were to swing first, somebody would have got, slung up. So there's that. Child, she sounded like Rolling when she yelled at her. She said, "No! I hate it! Stop!" The best news in this episode was the fact that the stylist was okay after that whole window situation. He said that his hip shattered, something else shattered, and something else shattered, but he had surgery and he was able to walk the next day. That is so miraculous. And I'm glad he brought up God, because that really is a miracle. Because a lot of people that would have ended up in a situation like that, they probably would have been paralyzed for the rest of their life, or at least for some years. So the fact that he was able to walk like the day after surgery, like Aaliyah said, you better thank God and everybody else that helped you out in that situation, because damn, like some people wouldn't even have survived something like that. So that was good to see that Zeus did help him out. Y'all need to stop with the conspiracy theories that let me push him. Like, yeah, here's the thing. Now y'all know I get a good key out of the pepper, but there's just certain things that like it's outrageous for y'all to accuse. One, he wasn't even there. And two, what would be the point? Y'all act like the stylist went and blasted Scotty or did something. Like, what would be the point? Y'all need to stop. Like, it's really not funny. Like when y'all do stuff like that to me, to him. Like, I don't find it funny because it's like, at least if y'all gonna key and like joke or accuse, let it be like true. So at one point, Lemmy decides to FaceTime his friend to talk about a song for Scotty, which by the way, let me finish off that last scene. Scotty just really needs a new group of friends because they all caused her so much stress. Besides the stylist, like I really do feel like that was accidental. Like him falling out that window like that was really accidental. But the girlies, you need some new girlfriends, Scotty. Okay, you need some new girls, like you say. Scotty ends up, Lemmy ends up calling his friend to talk about a song he wants to write for Scotland, and Scotty ends up meeting with Lemmy at like the rooftop, whatever, and starts talking about her family and how her mom and her aunt don't get along. And I'm like, oh, great, more people to stress her out as if she hasn't been stressed out enough. And then Lemmy gets in the studio and records the song. I will say this: the song sounds good. It does sound good. I could tell it's very um melodyne down, but it sounds really good. Okay, I was kind of shocked because I don't listen to the Peppers music. Okay, the another one. He ate when he did that. Okay, but y'all know I still feel like he should invest the coins in the baddies and the bad boys. Emphasis on the bad boys music instead of his, because I feel like they would have a better chance in making it in the industry than he would, because he already has the reputation of CEO. And it's not even on no hate and shit. I'm just keeping it a buck. And also, from at least from what I know, I didn't think his music was like his passion, like since he was young or growing up or anything like that. But I feel like with this project, it's really a gift for Scotty. But from what I know, he really does want to do music and stuff. So yeah, let me know what y'all think down below about this video, and we're all babies.